because I almost posted it on our public page instead of here in the private group. So I am going to just hang for a moment, wait for some of you to arrive. It's amazing how much we can get done in a short amount of time when we actually just sit down, focus, and begin. So if I don't have time, my intention has been to work on my website, and I haven't done it, and so I'm with you, a beautiful form of distraction. I start working my website. So I put that down and come find you, and I'm also using my computer now so that I can from my phone. As you notice, this wall different than where we've been. I'm in my home now. We've decided everybody's fate and use the studio. So we're here, which means I have a cat. I'm hoping she'll leave me alone. I tried to set up in my bedroom where I could close the door, and it just wasn't going to work with the lighting. And I have two boys, 17 and 23. So they know I'm doing this. Hopefully they don't forget and come storming out super loud. But that's life, right? We get the unexpected. So there's no gentle flow on our schedule. So what is a gentle flow? Well, we're going to take it easy on ourselves today. Flowing movement through just the word athlete and flow. It's that space where time and thinking cease, where we can just move and breathe and be in the present moment. But we're going to do that gently on our bodies. So there might be times, as I say, just move and breathe on your own, but it'll be very simple. So take that in your own breath, take that on your own time. And when you need to take something out and rest, take it out and rest. It's weird not having my good buddy Stacy here. So she'll be coming at you later this week. If you are regular in Erin's Hatha on Monday and Wednesdays, she'll be coming to you tomorrow. So I'm excited to offer her to you as well. But let's get started on our backs. I posted in the page that Spotify list. If you have Spotify and you don't need to figure it out now, we can always figure it out later, but I'm going to start sharing my lists during class just so that if the sound gets deleted, which I likes to do, then you can find the music for yourself. So just back. Which one where I have to move and talk, which is part of my incentive for the flow, because I want to be able to speak with you or just be silent with you. So just let your arms and legs relax out long. Close your eyes, especially in our own. It's so easy to be distracted. We open our eyes and our mind runs to our to-do list. It's the space we spend, at least especially now, so much time in. So close your eyes and maybe even a little visualization. Right now, I should be on a beach in Mexico had the world agreed with my plans. Maybe behind those eyelids, see something somewhere you miss. That breath in and out through the nose. That rise and fall of your belly with your breath. Taking that breath from just being in the chest to moving to your belly. If you watch a baby breathe, a baby that has no hurry, a baby that knows no worries, they breathe through this belly, constantly sending that signal through their body that they're safe, cared for, and calm.
5 more breaths. Closed eyes, nose to nose. When the mind wants to run to somewhere else, that's the mind's job, which makes your job to slow that mind down. The seeker of potential danger and the solver of our problems. We don't want to shut it off, but we can turn the volume. When you're ready, stretch your 10 fingers out really wide. Feel that stretch through the webbing between your fingers. Feel that stretch through your palms. And then squeeze your fingers in until you feel your forearms contract. These are muscles we don't think of often. We don't realize when we start losing grip strength. Inhale, spread those fingers out wide. And then squeeze it in. One more time, open the hand. Exhale, close. If your legs are wide, bring your feet together. Stretch your arms behind your head. Get long from your fingers down to your toes. And let's take a cleansing breath. Let's let go of something we're still holding. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it out. If you're like, Tanya's breath was really loud, I want a loud breath. Let's take another breath in. Exhale out. Bring your right knee in, give it a squeeze. If you feel like you're resting towards the top of your head and your chin is lifted, relax your shoulders and tuck that chin a little bit. It's not towards the chest, but you feel long and straight in the back of the neck. We're going to stretch that right leg out long, reach the arms behind your head, and exhale, bring the left knee in, giving that left knee a squeeze. Things aren't just happening in that side you've contracted and brought in. You've got things happening on both sides of the body, so spread that awareness out. Inhale, get long. In. Inhale, get long. Bring the left knee in. Keep moving with your breath. Inhales are what extend, they grow us big. Exhales contract, they squeeze it in. And you can keep it gentle just like this. If you want to add on a little bit, that leg you extend out stays floating as you bring the other knee in. The hard part is when they're floating out together. Exhale, bring it in. If you want to lift your nose towards your knee, you can add that as well. Know these additions to make this practice better. Keep moving, keep breathing. I just want to check in on you. I'm going to take a peek, make sure sound is working. But you keep moving and you keep breathing. Nice, beautiful. When we're in the class, it's studio taught. I do not practice along with you. I simply guide, hoping you can keep your eyes closed and follow along. Let's take 2 more on each side, maybe starting to feel some of that strong center, maybe starting to feel that movement, heating up your hips and shoulders. Now, rock a little side to side, massaging your low back. And then we'll slide those arms right up close to the body so you can feel the arms touching the edges of your body. Straighten your legs straight up at the ceiling. Some of us, that's a huge hello to our hamstrings. Say good morning. Know if straight legs doesn't work, offer a little bend in your knees, but not so much that you lose sensation. And then we're going to keep those arms close because we're going to use them to help. On an exhale, lower that right heel all the way down. And then inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower the left. Inhale, lift. Simple. Breathe. The exhale lowers. The inhale lifts. Close your eyes. And breathe. So happy you've taken time out of your day to breathe this morning. I want this home practice to be an easy thing. I know even I find struggle with it. I'm so grateful so many of you keep coming back to it. I love seeing that you're sharing it with your kids. Let's take one more on each side. And when you've got both legs up high, we're going to bend the knees. This is a good one. I don't do it often in class because it's kind of edgy and uncomfortable, but happy babies. So you're reaching up, grabbing the edges of your feet. For some of us that aren't going to be able to find those feet, we're grabbing behind the thighs. For some of us that feet are easily accessible, you put your arms through the middle and grab the pinky toe sides of your feet. So lots of options. And then just like a happy baby, rocking a little side to side, maybe pulling down with the right hand and then down with the left. Breathe. If your tailbone is curled really high, what happens if you let go of some of that pull on your feet and let your low back come down? I just realized I have a great wall here. I can pretty much guarantee you our next class will be something on a wall. For now, stretch those legs straight up. And we're going to bend the knees and plant the feet. So feet on the floor. There's some space between your knees, some space between your feet. Your toes aren't touching. And your feet are equal distance from your hips. So one's not further out than the other. And your toes are pointing forward. So you've got time now to fine-tune some of these things. Maybe you feel rushed in a classroom to get to. Arms, again, just they were really close to the body. Take this a little slow this morning. You're going to press into your feet. Lift your hips just an inch. And curl your tailbone under and press up. So it's different than our normal bridge. If I wanted to round my back right now, I couldn't. I've set it up with that tip in my hips, that this is as high as I can go. And there's a lot of engagement in the glutes. Breathe. And it's a lot more engagement, energy in those thighs. So this is really one, even though it doesn't look as high, doesn't look as pretty, this one is actually going to work the muscles more for strength. We'll get to stretch in a moment. Exhale, lower down. Now we'll do it without without pulling the tailbone under and tipping the pelvis. You're going to press in through the feet and let the spine lift like a string of pearls, one vertebrae at a time. If you just peek at your phone or computer, you'll see it's a way higher rounded spine that wasn't available before. And then we're going to start from that highest vertebra, lowering one vertebra at a time until the hips come down. And when you land, pause, feel, breathe. We're going to add the arms. I like to call them rainbow arms because they arch up and over like a rainbow. So when you press through the feet on an inhale, you're going to lift the hips, taking the arms with you. And when you lower, when you exhale, those arms come back. The same path they travel. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Close your eyes. And lift. and lower. Breathe. It's a very strange feeling not having anywhere to rush to. And not always strange in a good way. Sometimes it feels as if something's missing. As if there's something. And I've forgotten, that feeling when you wake up late for your alarm. Just randomly throughout the day. Take one more round. And exhale, lower. Nice. Just breathe. Maybe feeling some heat. If your heart is beating fast, feel your heart beat. It's in there all of the time, doing its job every day. And yet we're mostly unaware of it. We're only aware of it was to stop doing its thing, stop doing what it does. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together, let those knees fall out wide. If this is really uncomfortable, I don't know if you have blocks at home or even pillows, you can put them on the edge of the knees. We have company. You're going to take your hands, bring them behind your head, interlace your fingers. Elbows are out wide. Breathe. And we're going to add in some abs here. We're going to get our temperature, our core temperature up a little bit. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Keep the chin out of the chest. Imagine you have an apple or an orange sitting there so you don't tuck the chin in and create pain in the neck and shoulders. Breathe. And exhale is a contraction. So it's when you squeeze those abs and you hold in. Your inhale is an opening, an expansion when you bring yourself down. Five more. And of course, even in this situation, I fail to count. Those knees in. Give it a squeeze. Lift your head and shoulders. Squeeze it in nice and tight. And we're finally going to make our way up through tabletop. So coming through to hands and knees. Wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Unless it's one of those mornings where you're getting cramps in your feet, untuck the toes so you can stretch the tops of the ankles. And we're going to move through some cat-cows. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck your tailbone, look in. Inhale, hearts forward. Exhale. Rolling in, giving yourself a hug. Move and breathe. One more round of breath, one more round through your cat-cow. We'll meet in that neutral spine. And when you come through neutral, we're going to lift the right leg up first. I'm going to start with the right leg so I turn towards you and not away. So the toes point down. If that foot is out to the side, or if your leg is really high like Jane Fonda, bring it down. Level it off, square off the hips. Breathe. And maybe this is where you're holding. If you want to add in a little bit extra, you'll stretch that left arm out in front. Thumb is up, pinky's down. And the hand's not just kind of like lifted off the ground hanging out. If you're lifting it, commit. Bring the bicep near the ear.
And then imagine there's somebody who needs you out in front. You're extending forward through those fingertips. And we're going to start a crunch. So you may decide you don't want that arm lifted anymore. And that would look like this. Hand down. Bring just that knee in. Curl. Inhale, set back. Exhale, you curl it in. Inhale. You want the arm. Same thing except the elbow and knee are coming together underneath. Inhales for extension because inhale they stretch balloons out. Exhales contract. Air goes out. Things squeeze in. And when you're done, that next time, keep the leg lifted, bring your hand down. Keep your leg long, bring your toes down. Press the heel back, feel that stretch through the calf. And then we're pivoting and planting the right foot. Reach the right arm up. Now the trick here, that bottom leg, if you keep it here, it's like trying to be on a kickstand where it's underneath the bike. Let it come out behind you. Lifted arms, stretch it overhead, reach long, and breathe. And maybe you stay here. Maybe you want to balance and you lift that leg. Maybe you're loving the ab stuff this morning. You've been eating a little bit extra and you want to squeeze it in and extend. And squeeze and extend. Breathe. Don't make it about the movement. Let it stay about your breath. If you're still here, it is this beautiful stretch across the hip bone, up the ribs, through your tricep. And then we're going to come back to the hands, right leg still lifted. If you've been in a class where I've done the chicken pecking the ground push-up, it's the same arms as a chaturanga. So the elbows aren't out wide, they're in, and they stay close to the body. I'll turn this way. So the elbows don't go out. They stay right in next to you. And that leg's like a nice little lever, and it's not about how far down you go. And if you put your nose between your hands, it's not going to work. Put its nose between. Your nose is out in front. Breathe. One more time. And that lifted leg's all the way up between our this nice low kneeling lunge. Stay on your fingertips for a moment. Imagine you're at the starting line in track. On your fingertips, leaning in, your heart is forward. Know that your body language during this time, when you're ready, reach the arms up, gives your brain a lot of information. If you're walking around, head down, shoulders rounded, the expression through your body of sadness, your mind will respond. If you're walking around, shoulders back, head up, heart lifted, that emotional body on. Bring your hands down, surround your foot. Option to keep the knee down or lift the knee up. Inhale, right arm lifts, twist. Now I'll tell you, knee up looks like it should be harder, like it might have more benefits. Not if your hips sag and everything drops. If everything stays center, well then good, you're getting different things. But if that knee down helps you keep those hips aligned and gives your spine the twist it needs, maybe you're better served right here. Bring the hand down. We're going to take the right knee to meet the left. You're in tabletop. Rock those hips side to side. And then that first child's pose. Let the toes meet. Let the chest melt. Let your forehead come down. Breathe.
You might notice you feel a little lopsided, right side to left. That means everything you've done on that right side has changed your body in some way. When you're ready, come on up, hands and knees. I'm going to turn around on my mat. You don't need to. I just don't want to turn my back to you. We're going to stretch the left leg out. Toes point down. House this morning. Hips, knee, heel are aligned. And your palms press in so that you're not just sagging your chest between your shoulders. The palms press so that the shoulders are pulled up and out. Reach that right arm forward, thumb is up, pinky's down. Maybe you're choosing not to take that option. Breathe. And then you've got those contractions. Exhale, squeezing it in. Maybe it's nose to knee. Maybe it's elbow to knee. Exhale, squeeze underneath. Inhale, stretch it out long. How is your breath? One more time. And then we're keeping the leg lifted, but bringing the hand down. Keep the leg long. Bring the toes down. Press your heel back. And then we'll pivot. And reach that left arm up. Reach the left arm over. Stretch. Breathe. And then use that left leg if you choose. And maybe squeeze. Maybe you hold in balance. Maybe you're super happy with it down here. Close your eyes, whether you're moving or still, and just feel what your body's feeling. It's trying to send you signals. We often try to turn those signals off, especially when they're uncomfortable or even unfamiliar. They don't even need to be uncomfortable. They can just be unknown, and our little danger fibers start to tingle. Breathe. And then we're going to use those chickens pecking the ground. Don't forget, elbows stay close to your body, and your nose is in front of your hand. Kiss the ground between them, but way out in front. The distance from your elbow to your shoulder is how far your face is in front of those hands. And you don't need to go way far down. Maybe you're going down an inch or two and you're pressing up. And that's where you're building strength this morning. And that's exactly where you need it, if that's the case. When you're at the top, left foot's going to come all the way up between the hands. Stay low, fingertips down, look out. Trust. Feel that heart as it reaches forward, knowing you're going to make it to your finish line. And then we're going to reach those arms up. Some of us, due to shoulders or other things that make this reach up uncomfortable, you can bring those arms to cactus arms. You can bring your hands to your hips and hold it a little bit like Superman. It's still the body language the mind needs. And then we'll bring the hands down. We're taking that twist, maybe the down as you reach up. And I want you to think whatever way your face is looking is the way your palm is looking. So it's not turned backwards, and it's definitely not reaching into the back seat of your car. It's reaching straight up. When you look up, you can see your left thumb. And if you were lifting that back knee and you haven't, because I haven't, maybe now is the time. Nice. Bring the hand down.
Lower the knee. Bring the left knee to meet the right. Rock those hips side to side. And then bring the big toes to touch. You decide the distance between your knees as you drop in. If you like them closer together, then great. Maybe that's the stretch you need for your low back. If you feel congested and closed off, you bring the knee wide. And you can sit in. 3 breaths. Come on up, hands and knees. It's going to be our first time into that downward facing dog. If you're in this gentle class and down dog is not something you choose to participate in, stay on your hands and knees. You're building needed strength as well. If you're tucking your toes and lifting your hips, you're looking back. Breathe. You're going to lift both heels really high and then lower the heels down. And lift both heels high. If you're still on hands and knees, we're making our way to our feet at the front of our mat. So walk or step up. Once you find the front of your mat, bring your fingertips to your shins. And then notice, are you really looking up? Have you flattened the back? Is your belly and ribs rolled towards your thighs? Or have you pulled that space from your low belly out of your hips? Exhale, fold in. Soften your knees. If it feels good to put some space between your feet, then take a moment to heel toe your feet a little wider. Let this be a time you practice taking care of you. I can't even see you, so it can't be to impress. This is all about you, your practice, your body, your needs. Starting to listen to those messages. Hear what they have to tell you. And then don't just hear them and shut them down or make excuses. Listen to what your body tells you and then honor it. Pressing through your feet on an inhale. Stand up and knock the picture off the wall. Reach up. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Press palm to palm. I know, I don't have a head here. There we go. A lot of times we come here and we just drop the elbows and we're like, yep, I got my prayer hands. I want you to press palm to palm. Forearms parallel to the ground. Elbows out to the sides. Pull your shoulder blades back. Press your sternum to those thumbs. Now paying attention to where you're grounded in the floor. Rock a little bit forward and back. You'll feel the balls of your feet. You'll feel the heels. Lift up the toes a little bit. That doesn't mean lift up the balls of your feet. We're just lifting up the toes, not the whole foot. Feel them rooted in. There's a little bend in the knee because if we lock the knees, we lose the power at the knees. So don't lock your knees. Press in. Pull your belly in. Pull your heart up. Pull your shoulders down. And just standing somehow now becomes this very active, involved work. Now keeping those active parts happening, don't lock out the knees, don't give all the power to stop at your knees. Inhale, reach the arms up, grab your left wrist and bend to the right. Inhale, come up, switch your hands. Bend to the left. Inhale, come up. On an exhale, fold it in. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, halfway. I'm looking at you. Exhale, fold.
Stand up, rise up and reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Feel those palms press. Point your elbows to the sides of your room. Inhale, reach up, grab your left wrist. Exhale, bend right. Inhale, center. And left. And center. On an exhale, fold it in. Fingertips to shins, look up. Fold. Root and rise, get tall. This is our flow. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Take a side bend, any side bend to your right. Maybe you're starting to take full circles. Inhale, come up. And then go left. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Fingertips to shins, look up. It's on you. Move and breathe. Listen to your breath. No, you cannot go wrong. There is no wrong. Breathe. Two more rounds. Slow down. There is not a race. We have plenty of time. And we practice this slowing down intentionally in the body, which has this slowing down effect on the mind. And it will continue with you the rest of your day. You will feel that intention of slowing down, that you have time. And if you're like, I know I have time, I've just been watching TV, I haven't done much else, sometimes you get overwhelmed, that we freeze. Last round. We'll meet in that forward fold. When we have too much of something, we don't know what to do with it, often we'll do nothing. Breathe. If you want elbows, you can grab those opposite elbows. If you want to just hang and breathe, double check the knees. You have not hyperextended or locked them. Maybe you breathe and sway. Lower the hands. We're going to leave that left hand down. Inhale, spin up off the left knee. That is the hand that's on the floor. But we don't bend it so much that we don't feel anything. Find a place you feel what feels good, what's offering something new. Exhale, bring the hand down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Breathe. Lower the hand. Alright, bring those feet a little wider, about as wide as your shoulders. We're going to lower down to yoga squat. Maybe your heels come down. Maybe if your heels come down, so does your bum, and then you just have to leave your heels up. Bring those elbows inside the knees. Press those palms together here. Malasana, prayer pose. Close your eyes. If you haven't set an intention, set one now. If you set one, recall it. And if it no longer works, adjust it. Right now, we have to keep our expectations to the shortest of time frames, because we cannot actually plan too far forward, because forward is unknown. Set that intention to be present where you are right now. Nice. On an inhale, we're going to stand all the way up. Press through those feet. It's strong legs. Reach up. And exhale, bring the arms down. Alright, I'm going to to step back to the front of my mat. If you're anywhere other than the front of your mat, find your way there as well. We're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, look up. Plant your hands. Step only the left foot back. So leave your right foot forward. And on an inhale, reach up. Crescent warrior. Now remember, we had this down on our back knee. And if that is the one available to you, come down to your back knee. Exhale, bring the hands down. Left foot steps forward. Inhale. Step with your right foot. Again, you can always lower the knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step the right foot forward. Inhale, look up. We're just switching sides. Step the left foot back. Inhale, reach up. If every breath and a movement is not for you this morning, take more than one breath. If it feels good to flow and change with every breath, then flow and change with every breath. The way that's right is what's right for you. And it seems like a bunch of hooey-gooey stuff and baloney, like I'm just trying to put you on, but not the case. This practice is a personal practice, and it has all different shapes and sizes. Last one on each side. Maybe you've been holding one of those sides the whole time, and that's where you're from. Last one. We're going to meet in that forward fold at the front of our mat. Take that last look up. Give yourself length. Fold it in. Maybe look to the right shoulder and look to the left. And then we're going to stand up tall. Reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. So working in tree pose, we're going to lift the right leg, and if you lift the left leg, cool. Good. Just make sure you do the other side next time. So you're bringing that foot into the inside of your standing leg, and it can be down on the floor. It can be in the calf. This is the no-go zone. If it can't come up here, then it stays down here. Please don't put it on the knee. Hands anywhere. Heart, out, up. Maybe that body language. Good Lord, here we are. Thank you. Yes. Whatever you need, whatever you want. I was at a yoga journal conference, and I went to a workshop with Dharma Mitra, and he was, I don't know, already 70-something at the time. If you don't know who he is, you've got time, look him up. He's amazing. Stay on this side. Adjust your breath. You've got this. That standing leg's getting stronger every moment you think you don't have it any longer. Is your belly button pulled in? So when I went and I saw him wearing all white and with white hair, bring the knee to the front, wrap your hands around, give it a squeeze, and set it down. I thought, this is what yoga is. It's serious, it's stern. Bring that other foot in. And then maybe bring it up. And then find your place. Whee! Know that balance is a verb. We don't find balance. You can't buy balance. It's active, like walking, talking. It's happening in the now. It is those things you're feeling. So I'll get back to Dharma Mitra as I try not to fall out of here myself. He's light. He was loving. He was funny. He glowed when he smiled. And it was at that moment that I knew this practice was not to be stern or serious. It was not one more place to judge and beat ourselves up. That this practice was to enjoy ourselves, to heal ourselves, to appreciate who we are already. Bring that knee to center. Wrap it around. Squeeze it in. And set it down. Nice. Oh, walk those legs out. And then then we got to take that balance the other way. We got to get a little risky, a little willing to maybe fall on our nose and trust that we can land and catch ourselves. So we're going to pick the right leg up. Start to lean forward. Maybe your hands stay on your hips, because maybe when you lean forward, your hips start moving open with you. See how far you can lean, keeping those hips level. Think of it like that spinal balance. Maybe you keep your right, reach forward with just the left, and you make it a spinal balance standing instead of kneeling. Breathe. You've got this. Even if you fall, you've got it. All you have to do is get back up. Come on up. All right, last side. Standing on the right foot, lifting the left. Don't lock that standing knee. You block energy from getting up to your core. If you do, if we lock the knee, we've given ourselves no room to bend, and then we can only break. Maybe, I don't know if that opposite arm's leaning out in front. Good thing for walls. Breathe. And stand tall. Maybe your toes touch down that. Maybe your hands came down. Give yourself a big breath in. Exhale out. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold it in. Looking up. Plant your hands, step back, top of a push-up. Find that high plank. Look in front of your fingers. Trust your breath. Tap into your strength. Strength that's there. You have it. We don't need to go find it. You don't need to borrow it from somebody else. One more breath in. On the exhale, lower your knees. We're going to drop those hips to one side, coming to a seat. Come to comfortable crossed legs, whatever that looks like. Know if you're like, it's not comfortable, put your butt on something that'll lift it up. Let it become more comfortable. Oh, let your hands rest on your knees. Let those palms face up. Close your eyes. Feel your sit bones beneath you. And then feel one vertebra at a time. Sitting up a little bit taller. Not because we've locked our body, not because we've forced anything to come, but because it's our natural way to be. Take a nice deep breath in. Open your mouth, let it out. Take the arm to your side. Stay on your fingers. Don't drop the palms. Stay up. Arms. Let your left ear drop towards your left shoulder. Keep those fingers gently pressed into the mat. Inhale, lift the head. Let your right ear drop towards your right shoulder. Bring the head back to center. Take a look over your left shoulder. So not turning the body, just turning the head. Even looking out of the corner of your eyes behind you. And then back to center, and take a look to the right. And come back to center. This time let those palms rest down. I like to think of them as joysticks, like if you're old enough to remember Atari where you didn't have all these buttons, you just had a joystick. Your hands on your knees, those are the joysticks. And we're going to lean in towards that right knee. Sweep your heart across the center and go all the way around. Those hands are what keep you from falling over. So you keep the hands there to keep you from falling back. Maybe your circles start small and grow. Maybe your circles start big.
and then get smaller as you circle. Maybe you're just making circles and who cares what size they are. We're getting our bodies around. We're feeling that waist. We're moving into those internal organs that could use a little movement, a little squeeze, a little love. Nice. When you're ready, we've got to switch directions. It'll be a little tricky on the brain as you switch and go the other way. My favorite thing is watching something I love. The way this feels around my hips and waist. When you come back to center, sitting up tall again, we're going to shrug the shoulders up towards our ears. Take a breath in. On your exhale, just drop them. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, drop them. One more time. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, drop them. We're going to come down onto our backs. Take your time. When you get to your back, you will meet with the feet planted and the knees bent. And we're going to stretch the right leg up. Point and flex that right foot. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. Stay here, no matter what your norm, just stay here. And we're going to drop that right knee the rest of the way over the left. So you've got these crossed legs. Stretch your arms up if you have room. Bring your knees in. And we're taking a twist to the left. It might be a little tricky getting them over there with those knees crossed. And sometimes we think if that top knee doesn't like to settle down on the left, that it just isn't meant to reach there. Sometimes this bind is actually best for those of you. Now, of course, I only say that if it is not creating havoc somewhere else in the body. Beautiful. Slowly bring those knees up. They're still crossed. If they're not, cross them again. We're going to lift up so you're contracting the belly. Reach your hands forward and reach for your feet. And then maybe you keep your hips, you find your feet, you bring your head back down. Breathe. And when you're ready, release the hands. Stretch the left leg up. Stretch the right leg up. And then bend both knees and plant your feet. Now the left leg lifts, point and flex. The left ankle over first. So just a little warm up in the hips. And then you'll cross that left knee the rest of the way over. Stretch your arms out. Bring the knees in. And now we're going to the right. Breathe. I will tell you right now, all of us, the teachers, appreciate your feedback, your comments. We love knowing that you're here. We want to hear your questions. We can use this as a time to ask questions maybe otherwise we wouldn't have. To practice things we've been afraid to, whether it means intensifying or if it's that modification you've been looking for. Slow, bring those knees to center. Stretching both legs up. And then bring both knees into your chest. Squeeze. Bring your nose into the knees. Give it a squeeze.
bringing head and shoulders down, stretching those legs out long, coming to your Shavasana with the arms and legs extended. This, just like any challenging posture, is when we often want to bail. Sometimes the only reason we stay is because a teacher's coming with essential oils to give us some love. So we're like, yeah, I guess I'll stick around for this. I want you to stay. I want you to breathe. It means the world to me when people can put all things aside and bring their own peace. When we can step out, when we can integrate everything that's happened so far. And that's what this posture's intention is. All of the things you've done in the last hour, this is where your body absorbs them. This is where your body in that newfound freedom finds alignment. But it's often when we contract. It's often when the mind wants to race. This is what we yoga for, so that we can come here and be at peace. Feel the earth beneath your heels and your calves. Feel it beneath your thighs and your hips. Feel where that earth touches from your low to mid back and mid to upper. Feel where your arms are grounded, the backs of your hands and the back of your head. Feel what movement remains in your body just by simply breathing. Know in this moment that you are safe. You are healthy. Know that you are okay. And the next moment you start to question that, take a deep breath. Feel the earth beneath you, wherever that is, even if it's just your feet. And remember that you're okay. We get to decide right now who we want to be, how we want to remember this. We have to face the truth of the things that we said, if I had time, I would. You now have time, so do it. Take a deep breath in, feel where that breath is, to acknowledge it, and then open your mouth, exhale, let it out. That next breath come in a little deeper, let some movement begin to find its way to your fingertips. Maybe that same movement we started with, spreading the fingers wide and squeezing those fingers into a fist. And start to move the toes. And when you're ready, stretching your arms behind your head, get long from fingers to feet. A deep breath in and let it out. In and out. Third and final, breathe in. Hold a little of that breath at the top and exhale, let it out. Knees in, squeeze. That roll or rock up to your favorite seat, letting your hands come to your heart, bowing your head. So grateful for this 60 minutes spent together. If someone had told me 2 weeks ago I would be teaching you virtually,
I would have had a million reasons why that would not be. And yet here we are. Trust, breathe, and know you are okay. Namaste. You guys rock. Thank you so much. I can see there is still 14 of you hanging in. Hang out. I see you all. So thank you so much. Like I mentioned earlier, Erin will be hanging out tomorrow at 9:30. I'll be putting that out on Thursday. And like I said, we all miss you, so there might become a point where more than one a day. I don't want to make you any promises, but I know just doing it once or twice a week will not fuel my soul. So thank you again. Namaste.